another TVZ of a slightly different level this time, perhaps. In the bottom left, we have from Team Knights, it's Owl, the orange Terran. And in the top right, the blue Zerg. From Team Mythology, I think that's the full name. Sponsored by GameShop, which is what the GS at the end stands for. It's Xeno. Quite sure I've casted a game of him as well, actually.
I don't think I've seen Xeno before. I'm pretty sure I've seen Al. But I mean, TVZ again. Welcome back to TVZ. And hopefully we see a couple longer games than last time. Hopefully we see some kind of biomine action, because I think that's really, really exciting from Terran players.
Yeah.
Biomine plays. It's really, really fun to watch.
It's so fun, but I also think it's quite difficult to pull off, because especially Roach Hydra seems to be very strong against it. Just get a couple of overseers and Hydras. I don't think they outrange window mines. I'm not sure actually.
Yeah, I think when they go Roach Hydra, it's not best to start actually adding in a couple of tanks here or there, just to kind of help with the position. Because Roach Hydra's like,
it's like decomposition to get tanks against. You're right.
Yeah.
If I would go mech and I would see my opponent get Hydras in Wings of Liberty, I would always be thinking, easy win. But nowadays it's not this easy, especially with Vipers.
No, definitely. It's like Vipers is really, really good. Of course, with the Blinding Cloud, which is what usually renders them tanks useless. And of course the ability to abduct as well. Not just the tanks, but abducting medevacs, all that kind of thing. Viper is such a good user. Yeah.
So we saw a 15 hatch, 16 pull here from Xeno, so delaying his pull significantly, while his opponent is going for a rather quick Reaper build. So we might actually see something like some effective bunker play or just general harassment of the mineral line coming up for an Owl, because his opponent, his Queen's going to be late, his Lings are going to be late, he's investing minerals into an extractor, which means even less Lings will netto, of course, come out.
Yeah, and already we see that bunker starting to come, but already Xeno just, on top of this, he knows the possibilities there, and just checking with a drone to be nice and safe. And that's because, of course, he's already sent his second overlord across the map, so just being nice and safe here. But that bunker's getting a lot of health on it, and that could cause a lot of problems. And
did you see that SCV? This is disgusting. Like,
wow.
The movement around the bunker for an SCV or a building is randomized. It's one of the few things in StarCraft 2 that's actually randomized, and you can sort of influence it by cancelling and immediately right-clicking on the building again. And this SCV only took like 2 hits, and this Reaper, now like I mentioned, is doing some pretty serious damage to the worker line of Xeno.
Yeah, and Reapers are so good in the hands of a Terran who can kind of macro behind them, because you can just do so much damage with them.
Oh, don't go too far into the middle line?
Yeah, you need to be careful not to get surrounded. I mean, Bomber earlier using some fantastic Reaper play in TVZ and in TVP, and you know Reaper's very good, and that Reaper getting into the bunker there. Oh no, did that Reaper die?
It died, but there's no death animation for it.
That was crazy. There wasn't.
Yeah.
It just disappeared out of nowhere. Do you reckon it died in the bunker?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, maybe the projectile hit it after it got into the bunker.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of works like that.
That is a little bit weird, but yeah, this bunker's up. Owl maybe mystified about where his other Reaper went as well. And yeah, just putting on some pressure, forcing the Lings instead of drones to 9, mining from the natural, which isn't having that much of an effect, but it's still annoying. And these Queens just kind of stood at the bottom waiting to bust down this bunker, which isn't going to take too much power, but it's still annoying.
At this point, it's mostly an annoyance, and it's cost Xeno a lot of larva. He's already reinvesting it into drones. Meanwhile, back home, Owl has 3 idle SCVs in the back of his base, so I think he might be focusing on the front a bit too much, throwing down, producing more Hellions, another Marauder, which I think is an interesting move. He might be anticipating Roaches. Queen's now finally making a move on this bunker. It's going to get salvaged, and all Owl really loses at the front so far has been it's been a single SCV and a Reaper.
Yeah, and well, he's forced a few Lings out of his opponent and the Spine Crawler. But far from that, he hasn't actually killed too much, and Xeno's not in that bad of a position. He's even got speed on his Lings now. As Owl, he's starting up some Hellion production, and first 2 Hellions actually already across the map. So just keeping up kind of the aggression here, keeping up the map control, and back at home we do see a 3rd command center on the way for Owl as his natural command center lands. So all together right now, Owl just with a really nice kind of aggressive build early on here, not necessarily getting him a lead, but just keeping him in the game, keeping his opponent on the back foot, and giving him a
Yeah.
lot of map control.
I really like this light pressure here at the front. He's not really doing anything except he's keeping his opponent from taking a sneaky third, and he actually just forced a whole lot more links out of his opponent, and he's still, he's on triple orbital almost, and he's equal in the worker counts. Pretty good.
He's kind of like defending his triple orbital as well by just being at the front there, because Xeno, he can make a lot of units, but they'd be spotted so quickly, and so Owl, he's just saying, right, well, you can't actually move out across the map with any units because I've got Hellions here, I'll spot them, I can kite them.
Stim almost halfway finished, and he's actually going into a Marauder Hellion composition, which is something I haven't seen in a long while, and I think it's mostly somewhat of an early to mid-game composition to try to do damage with a very specific timing before, the swarm of Zerg really comes out. And yeah, I think he might actually do a lot of damage if he can keep these Marauders a bit hidden. So far, I don't think they've been spotted.
The problem is there are a lot of roaches coming out, and well, I think the roaches might help out here, but it's going to come down to control these marauders coming to front, trying to pick off that spine crawler. Roaches now coming forward as well, looking to take down these marauders as fast as possible, and Lings coming in, trying to surround, and good control so far from Owl. The marauders will die though, and just kind of left with these Hellions, which will not do much against the roaches at all. And Xeno does fight this back right now. Owl, he's going to have to back off home, and he's not in the worst positions. He's got Stim, he's got 1-1 star number, he's got triple orbital, so it's just a slight kind of commitment which didn't work out too much, and honestly he didn't even lose that much from it. He's only 200 resources behind in that resources lost tab.
He's already ahead in upgrades. He's got 1-1 on the way, and still his opponent has yet to finish his evolution chambers. He sees these roaches heading to the front right now, and this should be a big red alert saying, okay, he's going to attack your front, and I really like running into his opponent's natural because it forces all of the roaches back at this point, which doesn't seem like the best decision for the Zerg player, of course, but hey, this aggression, really paying off.
Yeah, these Hellions actually getting a few kills here, and I didn't really think they'd be able to. That Spinecrawler looked as though it was going to just kill most of them on the way in, but unfortunately it didn't, and well, a lot of roaches are now coming up for Xeno, but there's a mine there, 2 roaches getting taken out immediately, another mine going to try burrow, and it does get burrowed, the second mine burrows as well, and well, very defensive position now from Owl, and I don't think Xeno can fight into this at all as, again, another mine goes off. They're just so good defensively at this kind of stage of the game.
Yeah, wow, that was actually a much better defense than I had anticipated, because there was no bunker, and I'm thinking like, okay, what are you going to do against all those roaches? You have minimal DPS on your Marauders. You've got like 4 of them, a couple of Marines, but just a few mines here really helping out.
Yeah, mines definitely helping out, and we do see the Spire coming down, the Ling upgrades coming up, melee upgrades I should say, coming up as well, and this is the kind of the standard stuff we expect to see right now. A mine burrow in there.
Ooh, moving on top of the mine, never a good idea. Backs out somewhat in time, taking, well,
minimal
I guess the
damage,
minimum aren't minimum, but
that is really
still.
But yeah, as I was saying, Spire coming up, and this is the composition we see every day in TVZ right now, and it's such a fun composition as well. The Mutalisk, the Lings, the Baneling play, it's so fast, it's so mobile, it's so strategic. It's fantastic to watch, and really excited to see how Xeno is going to use it to his advantage here, as he is behind in upgrades, and that does hurt him quite a bit. As I have to say, Owl's been very, very, very aggressive here. I really didn't think he'd be able to get this far across the map, but
hugging the roaches.
Mines. Yeah,
doesn't get a hit off though, but these Marauders with 1-1 and Stim just doing so much damage to these roaches.
Yeah, chasing them down.
Yeah, finally Baneling comes up actually. I was wondering where that stayed. And yeah, this non-committal aggression by Owl is just such a good way to play this matchup, it seems. The early aggression really paying off, but really, he didn't lose too much. Mines being burrowed. Are they going to get a shot off? One is. No, it actually pulls back in time. Now he needs to kite with the Marauders.
Yeah, these Marauders getting chased down, but they're actually doing such a good job against these Lings. That position as well, just fabulous, and really wouldn't expect them Marauders to clean out them Lings at all, but great control and positioning from Owl. And he's playing such a scrappy game here. He's barely moving across the map with any units, and this was great up until right now, where all of a sudden these mutants come out and there isn't actually any anti-air with this army, and Medevac's going to speed boost off. He's going to get this base quite low. If he actually picks it off, I'd be wow. Very,
so
very close.
So close. Only 80 HP left on it, so a quick drop could really do some damage here.
Yeah, the good thing though was he was able to spot these mutalisks, so Although, you know, he's probably expecting mutas anyway, this kind of meta game. He's been able to just confirm that, and he's got that base down to low health for kind of later pickings. Repair on the turret is going to keep it alive, and mutas need to kind of be careful.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh god, that was scary. That's really scary.
One Minimind takes down the Overseer, and this one missile turret doing its work. I of course did lose a few harvesters, but nothing too dramatic. Actually going to move out on the map right again, moving his entire army straight into the Mutalisks, which are not paying attention anyway. There's only 6 Marines there. He could actually fight it with the Mutalisks if he wanted to, even though there's only 8 of those, so it would not be a very cost-efficient engagement.
Playing, these guys are playing with very, very low numbers, and so much action going on the map, they're kind of struggling to keep their money low. But like, it's all evens right now, and that's what's making this kind of such an intense game. Is again Al coming in here, and Xeno wants to try and pick this off, but again, 6 Marines with 1-1, they do a lot of damage to Mutalisks.
Oh, Banelink's making not a good connection at all. Straight into the Marauders. Mutalisks not going in, and now it's directly being chased away by these Marines, and the third just goes down before you can even say boom.
Yeah, that third base going down, that's a great pick off for Al. He created the opportunity earlier by getting it down to low health, and now he just finishes it off there. Great move out. I was a little bit skeptical, honestly, about it, but it worked out for him, and, well, now he can just keep the advantage. He's already 50 supply up here. These Mutas again being chased away, and we're actually down to 4 Mutalisks. Slowly but surely they've been picked off, and Owl is just rampaging through here. Bane's getting target fired down here. Ling's coming up, but again, it's just not enough right now, as everything's just dying. Great play from Owl throughout this game.
2-2 about to hit as well, and that's really going to be a convincing blow here. It's such a micro battle, this whole game, you know. Production for both players is really kind of suboptimal. There's no macro for the Zerg, even though he really needs it. And he's floating 2,000 minerals, same almost for the Terran at this point. So yeah, they've mostly been focusing on their micro on the front, while focusing on production at home might even have been the better idea. 5th command center actually on the way for Owl, so you know, his lead is undeniable.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been that way all along. He's had that faster third base, he's had everything, and well, he's just been able to secure it with good engagements, good decisions to move out across the map at all times, and I mean, even I was questioning some of his decisions.
Oh, this Doom drop.
And wow,
he just flies straight past the Mutas. There's only 7 of them, so he's not really going to be able to stop it. Banelink's now hitting on only a few Marines and Marauders. Widowmind's burrowing, doing massive splash damage, and you know, with the healing, these Marines and Marauders are pretty much going to go all the way. Another Widowmind burrowing straight under the Mutalisks, and boom, takes out pretty much all of them. Yeah, Link's on the way for Xeno, but I think we're going to see GG in not too long here.
Yeah, and you know, these Lings are just trying to clean up, but the lair is being target fired down, and I don't think that's going to stay alive at all. At the same time, the third base getting forced to cancel.
Exactly.
And wow, Al just on top of this. He's not giving his opponent the slightest of chances to get back in this game at all. This job on the main, you know, clear up all you want, Xeno, but I mean, it's game over. Look at your natural. Widowmind's burrowing, Spinecrawler down, Evo Chamber down, and Widowmind going off on the Broodlings there. These Mutants might be able to clean up because it's just Marauders left, but again, as we've said,
the damage is just so huge, and Xeno really hasn't been able to barely touch his opponent's base, and you know, it's at this point I really feel it's kind of a matter of time, trying to chase down these medevacks, getting a few kills off, but back at home there's another army just waiting for him to go.
Yeah, again, Al, just really great game right now.
These Widowmind.
And
in the natural.
Yeah. Holy crap, Widowmind's everywhere. Oh my god, what's this going to blow up on? It's going to be Mutas or it's going to be drones?
Oh, big boom going off, and
so exciting watching them just go like, boom. I love it.
Okay, he does have overseers now, but yeah, here comes really the final push from Al. He can literally just stim an A move all the way across his opponent, and he kind of deserved it. I mean, it was such a high level pressure-based play, which I really admire because it takes so much multitasking. You know, I was saying like, oh, his macro may not be, you know, the best in the world, but he is at 200 now with a 2-2 Bio Marine Force. And Jared, there we go. GG, well played from Xeno. Al taking the first game in this series.
Yeah, definitely. I